What if I told you the reason you feel behind isn't because you are underpaid, but because you are over optimized for a game you were never meant to win? My name is Mickey, and I have spent way too much time obsessing over why we treat our homes like investments when they are actually the single biggest drain of our financial freedom. If you are someone who feels like you are doing everything right, paying the mortgage, maintaining the equity, but you still feel stuck, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about why your dream home is actually your biggest financial anchor. We are told that a house is the best investment you will ever make. It is the cornerstone of the American dream. And in a vacuum, sure, real estate builds wealth. That's the problem. We don't live in a vacuum. We live in a world where the cost of admission for a decent neighborhood has been inflated by the same psychological traps we just talked about. When you buy a home, you are not just buying shelters, you are buying a lifetime subscription for property taxes, maintenance fees, homeowners insurance, and interest payments. And here is the kicker. Most of us buy the maximum amount of house the bank will let us borrow for. We take our two incomes, we merge into the bank, and we let them tell us exactly how much house we deserve. But have you ever stopped and calculate the opportunity cost of that mortgage? If you took that extra $800, $1,000, or $1,500 a month, the difference between the house you wanted and the house you needed, and poured it into a low cost index fund for 30 years, the math is staggering. You are not just paying for a roof over your head, you are paying for the privilege of keeping up with the neighborhood that demands a certain standard of living. You are paying for the lawn service, the updated kitchen, the exterior paint, all to keep the asset looking like an asset. It is what I call the house poor paradox. You are asset rich and cash flow poor. You have $2 lakh in equity locked in walls and wood, but you cannot pay your electricity bill with it. If you have an emergency, you have to go to debt because all your wealth is tied up in a building that doesn't pay you a cent of dividend. So, how do you break the paradox? You start by decoupling your self-worth from your address. The strategy is simple but brutal. Buy for utility, not for prestige. If you can move to neighborhood that's just as safe but 15% cheaper, or buy a house that is 200 square feet smaller, do it. The goal is to maximize the gap between your monthly mortgage payment and your monthly income. The gap? That isn't just money, that is your exit velocity. That is the money that buys you the ability to say no to the bad boss. That is the money that funds your actual investment. That pay you back in dividends, not just in a carb appeal. We have been conditioned to think that growing up means getting a bigger house. But in 2026, real maturity is recognizing that a smaller, more affordable home is the ultimate power move. It is the only way to ensure that your home serves you, rather than you spending your entire life serving your home. If this made you look at your property taxes a little differently, hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach people who need to hear this. And if you're ready to stop your house poor living, subscribe. See you then.